Yeah, already they're pushing in towards the B side itself. Sky Smokes is in to delay their push, but with the information that's been given from Fade, here comes the execute and Deathmaker doing what he does best with the raise. He'll be able to get an opening for the team. Post plant is in, which means there's only 2 players left for Enigma Gaming to hold their ground. Can they succeed?
Right, our MW1 now holding this close doorway. Actually not going to be forced into a fight just yet. Enigma, they kind of collapsed on this initial fight. And so for a Fade and a Viper, yes, 2 players of Velocity are low, but they need a miracle if they want this to work. And as Right to Ace is going to be ready, and just look at the crossfires from Velocity here. Really nice setups. Deathmaker, he has the info. Doesn't need to fight off the back of that. It just forces RBK into more and more uncomfortable positions. 2 quick kills do make it look pretty strong, but MW1 is able to chime it back, leaving Excali in a 1v2.
And now they're ready to make a push. Let's see.
MW1 first will leave the charge. There's the opening. Beautiful catch up on Excali there. RBK is able to chime back, though, with a wonderful little foray with that Sheriff. And RBK still standing. Jazz Control's going to be in terrible position to hold. 3 kills from RBK. And Velocity have just stagnated. 3 versus 2. Right to Ace finished off and sent to hell. On the topic of hell, though, LF has got a little bit more fight in him. 1 versus 3. Low HP on the Sky means this is possible, but still, only half HP means that these Sheriffs are going to be that bit scarier. Rexy on the shoulder peak, goading, inviting LF to take a fight, but he doesn't need to. There's raw fuel to fall. Suddenly things do look a bit more manageable. Low HP on so many players here. Antidote is holding it crossfire. How much mileage can they get from it? Antidote is going to swing in to U-Haul at the same time. Here's the initial shot. Out goes the Hawk, and with that, the low HP player of MW1 falls. Then the flank comes in. Suddenly, this is looking pretty bloody good, Baba. It's looking very damn good. 2 versus 2 now. Rexy, he knows there's a very high chance of a flank coming in right to Waste. Actually able to maneuver past that. Spike will be tapped once. Halfway down, there's the volley landing. Halfway down's good enough, but there's that kill. There's the follow-up.
From this execute. And Deathmaker, he will not shy away with that execute, that's for sure, but he still need to be careful on the B long. Here comes a showstopper. Will that connect? Yes, it does. That's Rexy gone. Even more so, Jet at the hands of Deathmaker. They've got the control back again. And this is concerning from Enigma. They've lost a lot of rounds, although they succeeded in 1 post plant. This will be even more detrimental if they lose this once more.
The Seekers are readily available for Velocity. I actually don't want to see him use it here. I think they are in pretty good position in terms of crossfires, and Deathmaker, he's just woken up. Deathmaker has come to this game warm, and unfortunately for the entirety of Enigma, that is going to spell danger. The one man who was pretty good at keeping Deathmaker on a leash was Raw Fuel, but let's be honest, he hasn't matched Deathmaker yet, and while he does prefer to use the Operator a little bit more than Deathmaker, we still need to see some...
Incendiary is a lot of utilities expended from Right to Ace's end. They want to get the confirmation, and they will do exactly that. MW1, such a close encounters, but that will be its downfall. Antidote is here. He'll be able to shut us down. They don't want to give Lambs control, and this might be even more problematic. The orbital strike pushes Antidote in. And Halaf comes back once again. He's playing very closely. Narvik might be the defending factor to it. Raffle, he needs to clutch this out. He needs to give Enigma the chance that he needs to come back in the round. And this can happen. 1v1, Deathmaker. He's been so chaotic for the past 5 rounds. Can he get to succeed this one more? Tension starts to soothe the round, but it's Raffle who will win it out.
The main duel I'm interested for now is we've seen Deathmaker's awake. And in that last round, Rossi was finally able to stop him. But you're looking at the peaks MW1's taking. You're looking at the peaks that Deathmaker's taking. Right now, Velocity have such confidence. Enigma need to find a way to break it. It's a lovely 2K from Antidote, but that only equalizes. LF's already in the back line. He's doing his job. Excali, he's having to rotate back around to Heaven. There's no sight control. And we're a good 30 seconds into the round, Baba, and it already looks like Velocity are ready to close it out.
Yeah, Raffle, man, his shots are pristine. He gets to take out FaZe. There's only 2 players left, and you could say that Enigma Gaming has their important choke points. But that off shot, he needs to make his shots count, and that's exactly what Hellf needs. One more chance for Excali. He needs this clutch so bad. But look at Hellf, he knows he just needs to play time. And that time will exactly give them the
faith in Enigma yet. I think that once Raw Fuel wakes up, we can have a game in our hands. But when Hellf is just decimating pushes from Enigma there, you really got to worry a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, this is more concerning though from Enigma's end. That heavy push that they made from B long, that commitment wasn't a good idea. And look at that, Deathmaker. Showstopper didn't work out, nor does the succession on his gunfight. RVK gets to get one, but instant trade out will come in. And this is not looking good from any.
Still that sort of X factor to watch out for here. But up against the Tour de Force, MW1 certainly has the slight advantage here. We'll have to see what comes from this though, with an early opening, and just the utility does all the work.
Does even more so. Deathmaker once again an opening pick. This is more dangerous, especially in the last round. A lot of utilities being expended. Of course, it's the last round. And MW1 always precise with his shots. Here comes the orbital strike. This will at least help them on repositionings. And raw fuel, no, he cannot. A beautiful rendezvous. He shouldn't have much of a problem though. The main problem has to be Enigma Gaming doing what they does best in their execute. And turns out it's RVK's turn to make his play. Oh boy, close range of that too from Brexy. Antidote is back again. And what has happened in this post plant? 2v5 and somehow Enigma, they're just looking very strong.
Deathmaker looking to make his foray out. Spots out the fade. Can't quite get the kill though. Tries to run away. It's Deathmaker in a 1v5, and I mean he's good, but I don't know if he's 1v5.
For Enigma though, they still need to be careful. MW1, what is that? 3 kills! You should have been careful on the corners, Enigma, and look what happened. The consequences that you guys need to face will be even more deadlier. They still have a chance though. 3v2. The main problem is in itself the control on the A side. And look at how VLT has been playing. So close, information not yet given, and Excali looking so strong. 2 kills, which means Antidote has to clutch. Actually, it was Helef who Nishan, and I believe Trailblazer will give them exactly that. Helef denies, and here comes the pain. Pushes in, and so does Raw Fuel. His energy is unstoppable.
Spike down.
So 1v3, right to Ace. He's made a decision to hold his ground. I believe Seekers will give the information regarding the final player. 1v3. Will we see right to Ace make a commitment for this clutch? Or will we get to see him?
And they're one of the few players who don't shy away from going aggressive on your defense, as demonstrated by Deathmaker. Thank you for that.
Ooh.
And he doubles down as well. Suddenly Enigma has turned on their head.
Velocity even knows exactly where the spike is. And they've already huddled up, and right to Ace exactly knows what's happening. Crossfire angles has been placed. It's just RVK left. And he will be cornered nonetheless. Even have the Sky Helef who's just patiently waiting, and there you go. This is crucial. This is exactly reading. Info. MW1 is safe for now. Patience as Enigma. Pushing this very carefully. They're just treading it very lightly. And missing that shot will give them even much more problem for them to deal with. Post plant. Showstopper, not the Showstopper. Deathmaker is all the way back from the flank. He might get to pick out RVK off by surprise. That lineup, removing that lineup would be so huge from VLT's end. But he's just playing it very closely. Look at that timing.
This could be perfect. Amsterdam is able to get out. There's that initial kill from Rexy, but Deathmaker doesn't realize the Viper's nearby. With his teammate falling, RVK just turns 180 and...
It's not a lot that he could say. It always depends on Raw Fuel's end. He's gonna miss that. The trade will come back nonetheless from Rexy's end, but Deathmaker is still alive, which means there's a lot of chaos which will happen from the B side. Post plant it is back again, and this time it's Velocity's turns to be even much more careful. Here comes RBK. The lurk, the nightfall, the patience that VLT had. They've got things under control. What can RBK do here? Yeah.
It's such a difficult position because he's given his audio cue. Velocity know all they have to do is just plant for defender spawn here. And push comes to shove for RVK. Even if he gets that spike and he's able to head back to A, there's already a Viper's Wall in place to sort of help him. But what is there for the afterplant? With only one snake bite, you still need to peek players. You still need to fight players. And that is really going to be a big difference maker here. The smoke is going to buy a bit of space, but there's the volley, there's the utility from the fade. It's almost irretrievable at this point.
Yeah, as the time ticks down to 10 seconds, you need to make a push, and with that crossfire angle, it will be Deathmaker who will succeed.
Sometimes the threat of you being there is scarier than you actually fighting them. And for Deathmaker, he's forcing the entirety of Enigma to clear their own spawn. They can't even do that. Excali falls Deathmaker. Sure, he had a hell of a start to this map. Yes, he quietened down a little bit over in the second half, but if he ends it on a bang as well, then Enigma really have to reconsider how they duel Deathmaker going into Haven.
It's just patience as raw fuel. It's all his hopes. Oh man, even the frenzy. At a 1v4, Rexy, he's just been cornered from both the plays. It's all by himself versus the rest of the players from Velocity. He will
out to map over on Vine. Still played well. And he looks double down now. There's RVK for the first. Rawfuel chimes in, and I mean, hey, Rawfuel, when there's players to kill, he'll definitely kill them. Rexy on the flank as well is going to spot out the chamber. Deathmaker is good for one, but that Headhunter with only 3 bullets in means that Enigma are going to have to share.
There you go, a second and a third from Deathmaker. He's still alive. He's still kicking. He's finding 2 more.
They're just going to be up against Spectre. Beautiful flash to start. MW1's able to avoid it. Low HP, though, is finished off by RVK. A clean trade. RVK is trying to double down. Amaterasu sends him straight back to the nursery. You don't want to be trying to get out your crib this early. Enigma, a man down, but with quite a bit of map control to show for it. They have a pretty good idea as to where Velocity are headed. The question is, can they just stop this hit to be?
Turns out you could say that Velocity has things under control. With Neon, MW1, who just made his fair share of that, but I'm not quite sure it's going to work out for them. They got the B control, which means that they have their confirmations. They will execute in B. Post plant will also come in, which means it's a 2v4 difficult situation, though. But Rexy still, it's just the info games. At this point, you could say that Enigma Gaming is on point in winning those.
Rawfuel on such a strong pursuit. This is a make or break, and MW1 just reads it. RVK, though, is there to pick up the mess, to pick up the pieces. Assisted by Antidote. It's a hell of a defense from Enigma there. They spot out right to ace. Beautiful.
For Enigma Gaming to fail on the push that the attackers will do. You still have the backup. Even more so, the early pick that he succeeded right now into his garage side, and MW1 wants to contest this. He will win a lot. But a lot of damage has been dealt on from the Nano Swarm. Beautiful second shot at that too, to take out Excali. Now they just got an opening, but you need to be careful. Rawfuel is already in towards the mid. Gets taken out from HLF. And now you could say that VLT has got things under control. They can just get back, proceed to the C plant. Imagine if the Jet could have won that gunfight. It would have been huge for Enigma's end. Their end, and look at that. Opening from MW1, they know exactly what they were thinking. And here it is.
30 seconds left.
Velocity now with a man advantage. What can they do with it, though? The Jets on A. Rawfuel is so alone here. Rawfuel has to go huge. He's good for the first. He knows there's the second coming. But MW1, man, he's just, with that he's in every position he needs to be in to secure these rounds.
That ultimate arrives. Man, this will be a lot of problems for them to deal with, especially on the C side. Rexy's still alive, though. He hasn't caught out, but that aftershock will force him to reposition himself. And here comes Deathmaker. Already won. Rexy's still alive, but a trade will happen nonetheless from right to Ace's end. A 3v4 equalizer. I wouldn't say an equalizer. 3v4. Velocity still on the upper hand. And MW1, he is looking for that kill. RVK gets shot on from HLF's end. Garage control no longer. There's an antidote. He needs to find the poisonous venom so that he can administer an aid towards that spot. But can they succeed in 2v4? I'm not quite sure. They have been at a very disadvantageous positionings. He will get...
But they're certainly wounded. And look how aggressive MW1 is. Knowing that there's going to be a push, knowing that there's going to be an attack somewhere, MW1 wants to punish that by outflanking the aggressors now. Swings out, RVK falls, and it's just near perfect. Through the smoke. Yeah, Rawfuel's trying what he can, but what can an operator do? Moving on to a site where there are 4 enemies equipped who know you're coming and know that past this operator, you don't have any firepower.
Not a lot of that too, and MW1 is just He's just a monster with Neon. One more kill of that, 2 to take out Antidote, and now Enigma is just caught in a very tough spot. Raw Fuel is just, he just slides in.
Not impressed.
Take out speed time once again. 47 seconds left, which means that they don't have much information regarding the Garage and the C players. And Rexy, the high ground potential and that cover from Raw Fuel, he might be able to end it with another kill. Paranoia is still present, a lot of shots, which has been concussed, but gets the kill anyways. And you could say that they have things under control. Rexy, 3 kills!
Oh.
And just like that, we will see Enigma come.
Faster push through Garage, assisted by the seniors.
Yeah, it turns out BLT is angry.
Down, C.
And oh boy, are they angry. They are so angry at this point. Seaside control back again. It's Raw Fuel's turn to bring this match under control, and turns out it won't happen because MW1 is still here playing near the smoke. And now it's all down to RVK. They have all...
Now, there is a Blade Storm over on Raw Fuel to potentially help in this endeavor, but for RVK, Crossfire is going to have to be buggery to outmaneuver. Luckily, MW1, why fight? Why risk Crossfire when you can just pull in and kill everyone? Ah, funny you mentioned that, MW1. I hadn't considered that. Can you show me how it's done? Okay, Raw Fuel. Blade Storm in hand is going to be the first objective for MW1 here, and Wild Labor as we shut down. All right, MW1, what else do you have? Obviously quite a bit. It's all down to Rexy. Right, this pistol round is going to be a tone setter. It's going to tell us what sort of symphony we're going to be playing here. Because if Velocity take it, this could be a very quick map. If Enigma take it, then a comeback song. MW1, look at that aggression! Excali eventually kills him. But the fact MW1's able to get a kill there is just criminal. And for Enigma, a man down now. Rexy, spike in hand, but alone in the process, is going to be hit by the trademark. So much so, Deathmaker's going to push off the back of it. There's that kill. There's the blink away. More importantly, with the knowledge of the spike, look at the rotation now that comes from Velocity. They descend onto the safe site like a spider finding its prey in a web. And this web of lies may leave Raw Fuel to believe that the safe site's clear. Little does he know, though, the flank from Sewers is going to put a spanner in the works very swiftly. He does have the identification of Deathmaker, so he knows where at least one of these players are. He should attempt to be able to shut that down with a quick opening, but from the flank right to... There's no established leader. Antidote shuts down MW1, finally able to finish off the Neon, but is that enough? Because now Deathmaker has some space to play with. Amaterasu a bit too aggressive. Antidote is able to shut it down. Looks like Enigma may be able to get a rain on things now, instantly getting control of the C site. And while there is a Killjoy lurking in the back line, that Killjoy isn't going to have too much effects until much later in this retake. If Velocity can get into these the C site before the flank comes from Enigma, this could be perfect for them.
It's not a lot they can get information though, although that opening though from Antidote. We'll find out one. Deathmaker's gone, which means right to Ace and Hellf. They think you're making an attempt? I mean, they could. It is the bonus round nonetheless, because we see 3 players, actually 2 players back in the A lobby. Execute will happen nonetheless. Deathmaker is just playing this patiently, finds one, doesn't get the second, and Rexy gets the trade. And RVK is just patiently waiting to see whether if that flank would be denied. Eventually he will do that, but MV1 is so quick on the trigger. Headshot. Raw Fuel down at the hands of right to Ace. This is not good. Rexy is the last man standing. He doesn't have the necessary utilities nor the flashes to even contest this 1v3, which means that Velocity, they've got it under control, but with the important opening that Rexy might get, right to Ace is still watching there right off the bat from that AE execute. And now it's all down to MW1 to see whether they can come back. Flank's been taken care of from Amaterasu. A job well done from Velocity's end, and now they just have to focus on the site. Trailblazer will give a lot of information accordingly, which means that they need to be careful on the push. And now here comes MW1, sprints as ever! Oh, they got all 3 players, and what is that? What was that, MW1? He just sprints out of nowhere, and even with the smoke, it's still not enough. There was an opening. And it's Velocity coming back at match point 5 to 12. MW1, he is insane. He just... Trailblazer is in. Concussion. Takes out. Which means that Hellf is still in a good spot. His location has been compromised, and that is not working out from their end. Here comes MW1, 2, 3, stings! It stings a lot
Standing.
for Enigma. And oh boy, what a way to end it off with the end coming in.
I tell you what.